Welcome to Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Terry Lynn. I am a virtual assistant, bookkeeper, and international business strategist. I love leveling up, creating strategies, and thinking outside of the box, especially with serial entrepreneurs because we are impacting the world with new innovations, community collaboration, and global technology. We will discuss strategies that stifle mental chaos so that you can create habits and outstanding success right here on Chaos. Good afternoon. I am so happy to have you here. Do we pronounce your name Vismaya or Vismaya?
Vismaya, I am yours, Vismaya.
Yes. Vismaya Rubin. I'm going to read your bio, okay? Vismaya Rubin is the founder of the Living in Gratitude Today movement, teacher, speaker, best-selling author. But her favorite role is that of a
Gratitude Gangsta. What?
I love it. WPN Women's Prosperity Network is saying that she is a person skilled in the art of appreciation who lives life fully and finds magic even in life's challenges. A gratitude gangsta knows that gratitude is the fastest path to love, joy, and prosperity. Welcome, lady. Welcome. So glad to have you here. I have
It is,
admired you. Thank you for being here.
it is my pleasure. I am very happy to speak with you. I'm super excited. We've had a great conversation so far offline, so now we get to bring it online. So thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
Today has been delicious. That has been such a lovely, like today has, I woke up today and I started doing little things and then it was good feelings, good things were going on. And I like when I wake up and I can look back in the morning and go, wow, today was really, it started out as one of those delicious days.
Delicious. That's a wonderful word. Tasty. Tasting good, feeling good. So the rest of the day is going to be fabulous. I love it. And it's a sunny day. The weather is beautiful. We don't have any clouds here in Atlanta. Do you have clouds there?
It's going to pour today, but it's all right. It's the sound of the rain and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, it
I
is.
went outside for a little while this morning and it was nice, but you could feel the sprinkles coming.
Wow. And you are a gratitude gangster. Don't let me have to say that. I love it.
I know it's so fun, and the most fun is because it was the term was coined by my 10th grade students.
Oh, wow. So you've taught school.
I did. I taught high school for 20 years in Miami. I was a math teacher. Then I started teaching character development, which was I created curriculum based on the 7 habits of highly effective teens. And then at one point they said to me, "Okay, here you go. Here's a class of I think it was like 30 kids." They said, "You're going to teach a Martin Luther King nonviolence class." And I said,
Okay.
okay. I had no
Okay.
idea what I was doing, but created this curriculum with them also. And that has really been my passion. I taught writing, um, so it was math, character development, and writing. But my favorite is the character development.
And you stopped teaching.
I did. I would always tell students, you've got to follow your dreams, follow your passion, do what inspires you, what excites you, what lights you up. And I've had for a while a calling to get out of teaching and speak, in public to adults, because adults are really the ones that create the change with the students and with their families, and they're the ones who have the power to create these habits with their own children. So I said, if I keep saying to my students, go out and jump and take a risk and go for the things you want, I also have to do the same, because if not, they're sitting in a class listening to somebody who talks but doesn't do. So back in 2017, I finally said, that's it. 2017 is my year. I am out of the school system after being in there for 20 years.
20
And
years.
it was a scary thing to do. A lot of people thought I had lost my mind. Like, how do you leave a secure job with a pension, to go create a movement that you don't know if people even want? Or how are you going to get people to join? Or, what are you doing? And I did it. And I said, this was my chance to really practice what I preach, and to go and to not and to do something I really wanted to do, even though I was scared to death. In some aspects, I was fearful.
Mhm.
Did I make the right choice? What if it doesn't work? And people are like, well, what's your plan B? I'm like, there is no plan B. The plan B is that it's gonna work. And it
Yeah.
was a very interesting year. That year, it was, as soon as I decided that I was gonna leave teaching and do all these things. My dad was at the last stage of his life, and then we lost him in January, and then 6 months later I lost my uncle. So it was a
Oh.
very challenging first year, not being in a school system.
But it gave you time to go through the process because death is a process, loss is a process. I was talking with Laura Beer, the motivational medium, and we were talking about grief. So her show will be coming out. But it's a process. And so, lo and behold, you had time to go through the process, not even knowing that that was going to happen. So that sort of, kind of the silver lining in
That
all of
was,
it.
I 100% agree. I was able to be with my dad to the last second. I was able to be around family, supporting, all of us supporting each other. And then before my uncle died, I went to stay with him in Tampa for a month, and I was his
Nice,
caretaker.
nice,
And that was the hardest job I've ever done. So I appreciate caregivers. Like, I never understood what they did until I was his caregiver. And he was in an assisted living facility, but he needed the additional care. And
right,
he would chase everybody off, and he wasn't nice to anybody. So
right.
he liked me. So I ended up doing it for a month, and it was the most rewarding and challenging thing I have ever done. So I had that time with him pretty much the whole month of May in 2018. I was with my uncle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and a partner had an in-home healthcare business for a few years, and yeah, I couldn't do the human part. I had to stay behind the scenes with the paperwork because I just cried most of the time. Yeah, the challenge mentally, physically, emotionally, is it just pulls and tugs on you, and it takes a special person and a special love to do something like that. But I can see how you would be the person to do it because I'm a member of your movement, thank goodness. And the feed that we get from you, you can tell it is just full of love, tenderness, full of guidance, full of don't, you know, you don't have to be in that chaos. You can change that. And so I can see how what is on the inside of you, you are chosen as the caregiver without even knowing it. I can see that with you.
Thank you. It was actually my pleasure to be there. We had some really, really amazing moments. And one of my goals when I got there was to create a moment of gratitude for him, or a gratitude win, at least once a day, because he had just had two major surgeries. He had Parkinson's, he had dementia. 5 years
Wow.
prior, he lost the love of his life that he had been, they had been high school sweethearts. She died at 59. So right before, she was 59, and right before his 60th birthday, like, life came crashing down. And now he was 64 at this point, and he had struggled a lot. So I said, if I can give him one moment of pleasure every day, I did my job. And I remember waking up on some days and going, I would start my day off saying, today is going to be a magical day. And there was a voice in my head that was like, are you out of your mind? Do you know where you're at? And the other voice would say, today is going to be a magical day, Vismaya. You said it. You're going to declare it. You're going to create it. And then that voice would come back and was like, seriously, like, take a look around. You're sitting in a room. You haven't moved. He's miserable. He's bitching and moaning the whole time. And finally, I was like, I stopped that voice and I said, I get to create it. And it was not always easy, but there were certain days, like I said to him one day, I said, Brucey, I said, what are you grateful for? And quite honestly, I was waiting for him to say nothing. And he looked at me and he was like, you. Or another time I went and I bought him orange sherbet, and the look on his face when I brought this orange sherbet in, he lit up like a light bulb.
Christmas.
Or we would sing, because I didn't turn the news on when I was there, and I'm not a singer. I mean, I have a lot of great qualities. Singing is not one of them. So I've been, through this quarantine singing through my neighborhood. They all probably were like, where is she and when is she going away? Because nonstop, and I have my earplugs in, so I can't hear how loud I am. And I play the same song over and over again. I mess up the words. It's perfect. So all he did was make fun of me every time I would sing. So I knew that he was starting to feel a little bit better, at least for a very short time.
Yeah.
So it was a gift for me, and I adored my uncle and he adored me. So it was very much a learning experience and a time to connect and to be of service and to get outside of my own comfort zone in some ways, because I had to do things that I never thought I would have to do.
Yes.
So
I know. I know. So when you were in that, was that a part of you creating your movement? Did that contribute to your movement at all?
I had started the movement and then kind of taken a break a little bit and
Okay.
revamped it. So all of these experiences have been things that have given me the opportunity to share what I have learned with other people. I think everything that we experience, whether it's a happy moment or a sad moment or we get frustrated, I think all of it, because when I say practice gratitude, I think one of the biggest myths when we talk about practicing gratitude is people think that, oh, life is perfect and wonderful and everything is, like the ice cream and the bowl of cherries on top. And one of the hardest things for me in the beginning was, how do I bring together these two sides of myself, the side that gets angry and sad and frustrated and upset and has all of those human emotions, with the side that says, okay, we got to practice gratitude, because when we practice gratitude, it really brings us, elevates our vibration, it makes us happy, it makes us feel good, it really trains our brain to hone in on these delicious moments. And the truth is, we can have both.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I heard, Dr. Emmons said, gratitude is an effortful state to create and maintain. It is not for the intellectually lethargic. And that quote,
Wow.
right.
Wow.
Right.
Say it again.
Gratitude is an effortful state to create and maintain. It is not for the intellectually lethargic.
That's powerful.
Yeah, you got to do the work.
You gotta.
You
Because
have to
it's
do the
power.
work.
We think we can think it through. We think we can think it and make it happen, but intellectual lethargic.
Right. So you can if you're going to sit around and want to bitch and moan and complain about all the things that don't work, that is so easy to do, because you could look around and find a million reasons. But when you're in that space to find those moments that bring you joy, that make you happy, that make you smile, even if it's the tiniest little thing, like I went outside today and I walked, or I went outside today and I saw, the sky, the sun was out, or I danced for 5 minutes, or whatever it is for you that makes you smile. And if you can't, and if you're not finding it, do something that will make you feel good. And for me, it's dancing. Sometimes I'll turn the music on, and I'll watch myself in the mirror and I'm moving and I'm shaking, or I walk outside and listen to my music and, sing to my neighbors, even though they don't enjoy it. That brings me joy. And that doesn't mean I'm not experiencing those other things. It means that I'm able to experience both.
And
So
we could talk about gratitude all day. Oh my God, we could talk about gratitude all. I mean, I have a history of depression, and if nothing else pulls me out, it is counting my blessings. And I often tell people, count your blessings. It's just time to count your blessings. This is the time to count your blessings because that's what works. But wow, I just have to sit in this in this phrase you just gave to us for a second because we have to make choices and we have to make we have to make choices. Like we can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this. You actually have to make the choice and commit to it. And it's so easy for us to commit to everything else but ourselves and our journey. Because I just started the doctoral process on May the 4th, and I'm already like, I'm over this.
I hear you.
I had to tell myself last night, come on, girl, get in here because you know you got a deadline. Let's get in here and get this done. And it's just beginning. I'm like, woo, baby. But I know I've made this commitment and I made it. And like, I have no reason to have a doctorate degree. I don't even think anything different is going to happen. I'm sure it will, but that's a part of life. It always happens. But it's just what I wanted to do. It is what was on my bucket list for for my education. Like I want to be Dr. Diva. That's
And
who
what
I
is,
want to be.
and what is it going to be in? What is your doctorate in?
It is business administration, doctors in business administration. I have my bachelor's and my master's in uh, business administration. And it's just like nobody in my family has a doctorate degree. My intimate family has a doctorate degree. And I want to be the first because I got all these grandbabies that they got to know that it's a journey. But yeah, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do if you're committed. And when you get stifled, to stifle the mental chaos, count your blessings. Create the habit of counting your blessings in order to have outstanding success. So tell me, what habits have you created that have contributed to your success?
That's a great question. I think, since I was a child, my mom is bipolar, and I never realized it until somebody asked me, "How long have you been practicing gratitude?" And I think that my response used to be, well, when I was a kid, I always used to say I was lucky. I was lucky because I had all these experiences and all these things that were happening that didn't happen to every kid. Even though my mom was bipolar, she was an incredible mother. She did these wild things that were, now I look back and I was like, that's probably when she was manic. but but she did these wonderful things and gave me these wonderful experiences. So when people would say to me, oh, I feel so bad for you, I feel so sad, I'm so sorry, I always I would get almost offended, like, you don't have the right to pity me, you don't have the right to do that. And I could feel myself, I remember being very indignant about the fact that they didn't have the right to feel bad for my life. So I always practiced gratitude, I just did not realize it. I used to say I was lucky. So consciously looking for those moments that I have to be grateful for, and especially in the last 7-8 years, like there's been whirlwinds of times in my life. In 2013, there was like one person getting sick after another in my family, and the only thing that I was focusing on was, what are these moments of gratitude, what are my gratitude wins today, like, and really looking for them and really consciously seeking them out. And it made all of those other situations a whole lot easier. And again, I really want to emphasize the fact that that does not mean that I don't go through my moments where I'm sad and I'm frustrated. I'm repeating this because I think it's very important for people to realize that even when you have a gratitude practice, there are going to be days, it's not like a miracle pill that everything is wonderful and perfect every second. And to and to understand that because we are human, we're going to go through all of those emotions. What that does is it gives you permission to feel it when you're there. So you're not like, oh my God, I can't do this gratitude thing. Everything is horrible. Everything. No, I'm human. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling frustrated. Whatever those feelings are. And then being able to look at them, experience them, and know, and this is the key, know that they're not going to be there forever. The same
Oh,
way that
yeah.
when you're happy, you're not
Yeah.
happy every second of every minute of every day.
Right.
It's an up and down, it's an ebb and flow. And if we don't have those feelings of one, we can't understand the other. And just realize that
Okay.
that's part of the process. So that has been such a blessing for me, understanding that I can be both. I can experience both ends of the spectrum and still create a gratitude movement and not feel like a hypocrite, because that was really a big challenge for me in the beginning. Is I'm supposed to be this happy, joyful, wonderful, exciting person, and I'm really pissed because my mother's in the hospital having a stroke, or I'm really upset because my dad had part of his lung. This is 2013, Valentine's Day. My dad had part of his lung removed. 2 days later, my cousin's husband was killed. 3 weeks later, my mother had a stroke. 3 weeks after that, my aunt went into the hospital, and we knew she wasn't coming back from that. And I was angry and sad and all of those things. Like, I knew I was losing people. And I was still able to experience those moments of gratitude. Like, still able to, the fact that I was able to leave from one day to the next to be in Atlanta to support my cousin, to, do the things that needed to get done. The fact that I was able to be at the hospital with my aunt as she was, transitioning, or tell my uncle, go home, let me stay with her tonight so you can go home and get some rest. And watching him the next morning come in as a completely different person, revived and energized. So that has been really that has been the biggest blessing for me, has been able to, and I think it was partially that quote, like really realizing that you have to consciously look for those things. It's like going up a hill, being at the bottom of a hill. You can look at it and you can stare at it all you want, but until you take that first step up, you ain't
Right.
going nowhere, right?
Right. And it's not going anywhere.
It's going to stand there. It's going to still be that mountain in front of you, and until you take that first step. So that has been one of my biggest habits, is to consciously look for things all the time. And I think the other one is saying to myself and to my community, the universe has my back. Because when I go into a frenzy, which I do, I'll have somebody call me up, one of my good friends, and she's like, Vismaya, the universe has your back. Why are you upset? Why are you worried? Because the universe has your back. So having a community of people who remind me, because sometimes we all need a little reminder, a
Yep.
community of people who say, practice what you preach. So if you preach that the universe has your back, start remembering that.
Right. Right. Wow. You are the gratitude gangsta. You are it. You are definitely, you have seated yourself in what you have been called to distribute to us.
Thank
I
you.
I I appreciate you very much.
Thank
I
you.
I I certainly am honored that you came on the podcast
Are you
and
kidding? Of
shared
course.
your chaos, because Lord knows you had enough.
I have, and I still sometimes have chaos, and it's still, getting out of those situations in a different, and I think that as we as we grow and as we mature and as we get older, all of those
Grow up.
experiences, right? I'm going to be 50. I hope I'm grown up,
I don't think we ever get grown up.
right? But all of those experiences, I think Elie Wiesel once said, there's a difference between a wise man and a smart man. A smart man has all this information. They gather information, they collect information. A wise man takes that information and builds upon it. So okay, so I'm here now. So what's my next step? What's my next step? What's my next step? And we're always growing and expanding. And I think that has also been just knowing that and how to apply those things and being very conscious of the things that I like to do, the things that I enjoy doing versus the things that I don't, and still being able to manage both and move forward with both. So
Yeah. Phew. And we do that every day. I mean, we do it every day. Some of us, I have a friend who's very purposeful in her phrase, I don't want to adult today. I, I'm not trying to, I'm over it. I'm not adulting today. And she'll close down. She won't adult today. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. I don't even have the courage to not adult. I can't imagine.
right.
But that's the balance. That's the balance that um that's the balance that I think we just, if we could just live and let ourselves live, then we would experience the journey that is full of challenges but yet rewards. I think because we try to control our journey, it's just a challenge all the time. And we very seldom get to the reward part because we're so busy in it. And I've said this before, we're so busy in it that we miss our blessings. We're not present. We are worried about what's behind us and in front of us, and we're not present. And I think that gratitude helps us be present.
Yes. And I think I love what you said. And I cannot wait to go back and hear the replay because you said something that was a golden nugget, and I was so consciously listening to you that I can't repeat it verbatim. But I agree with you. We're so focused on the prize sometimes that we don't allow ourselves to feel. And I think that what we're experiencing right now as a world, as a universe, as a global pandemic, I think that it's been challenging for people when when they're feeling, loss or devastation to kind of look forward and say, well, it's going to be okay. And how do we get there? And just like you said, it's about looking for, you know creating these, and we were talking about this in the movement the other day, like committing to recommit to one thing that is going to give you pleasure. So what is one thing you can do today that will bring you pleasure? And one of the things that I have started to do during this whole walk during this whole pandemic, because we're quarantined to our home. And I was like, I could feel it. Like, and my exercise was going to the refrigerator and eating constantly and eating food that I don't normally eat. Like, I don't buy potato chips because I don't have control over potato chips. And when they're in my house, they're like, call me,
Yes.
come to me. I want to, like seriously, they like want to have a party in my mouth. But so I don't buy them. So one of the things I started to do was walk and really commit to walking. And I said 10,000 steps a day, but if you don't walk, do something 500 steps a day. Get up and dance for one song every day. Tell
Yeah.
yourself, I am enough 100 times a day. If you're living in a situation right now that's not a conducive situation where you're in harm's way and you're not able to get out, do something that you can do for yourself. And that other person may not hear you or can't hear your thoughts. So put thoughts in your head that are positive thoughts. I am enough. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am powerful. And say those to yourself
Yeah.
constantly to start to train that brain to look for those things. Because you're right, we're so focused sometimes on the outside that we don't have a chance to see what's in front of us.
Where do we find you? They're going to be looking for you. Tell them where to find you because I know where to find you. So you tell them where to find you because they're going to be looking for the gratitude gangsta.
What? So there's two ways you can. The easiest way is if you're in the States, text the word grateful, GRATEFUL, to the number 64600. Or you go to my website, which is livingingratitudetoday.com.
Okay. And you all will be able to find that in the script. The script will be attached to the podcast, which will be featured on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Sketcher, and some. Oh, Google has a podcast now. So you'll be able to be found everywhere. You'll have your own blog page, which will be social media wide, as well as YouTube.
Beautiful.
Okay, so you'll be able to find the Gratitude Gangsta everywhere.
I'm going to tell you now, you better be careful with these podcasts because you're going to be picked up on a radio station. I can see you on one of the late night
Love
conversations.
it. I like late night.
You're going to be playing that lovely, lovers music with that voice.
Uh-oh.
So beautiful, like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to get your, I can hear you.
Light
Get
the
to dancing.
candles, baby. Light the fireplace. Can I hear the glasses clink? Yes. I accept it. I
I'm
accept
telling
it.
you now,
Call
people,
it out.
you better pay attention to this podcast because I'm telling you now, you're gonna be picked up by a radio station. They're gonna go, who is that lady with that smooth voice?
Oh my gosh. You know, I did the other night. I'm gonna let you go in a minute because we could do this all day. But I did a list the other night of gratitude, motivation, just writing. And I started reading it and went, oh, this is gonna be an MP3. I'm gonna give this away. Folks need to have this. I am enough. I am great. I am beautiful. I was made a miracle. Those kind of things. And I live with those, as well as counting my blessings. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be I'm gonna do that sultry voice.
Get it,
And make
girl.
that MP3. Put it in my store so folks can be motivated to be great because we need more greatness. I think the more individuals who have the self-confidence and the knowing of that they are great, the better our world can be.
I agree.
Miss Vismaya, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And thank you for all the gratitude you give me every day. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me, and it's been an honor to be here and to chat with you and to know you and to support you in this new adventure that you've started. And I see amazing, wonderful things for you and
Thank
for our
you.
world, because as you grow and expand, we all grow and expand. As I grow and expand, we all grow and expand. So
Right.
super excited to be part of this journey with you.
And we will have a listening gift from Miss Vismaya. I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll talk about it, and we're going to have a listening gift. Every episode has a listening gift. So we'll have a listening gift from Miss Maya. So go to listeninggift.com and get your listening gift from Miss Vismaya. Thank you so much.
My
Have
pleasure.
a great day.
I want to thank you for listening because this podcast is for you. And don't forget to get your listening gift. You can go to listeninggift.com. That's LISTENING gift.com. Compliments and constructive criticism are welcome. If there is anything you would like me to talk about, just hit me up. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Coach Terry Lynn. That is Coach T as in Tom, ERRILYNN. And remember, create habits and outstanding success with us right here on Chaos.